Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you don't know me, I am Angela and I find my paradise through reading. Now in my last video, or my second to last video, I had mentioned that I was going to be putting together my April TBR, and I did. So I am going to share that quickly with you today. This is going to be a quick one. And let me get this deck. Okay, this is my April TBR. I'm confident I'll get through all of these. I really am. But quickly, I'll go through all of the books that I plan to be reading during the month of April. The first one that I have here is James Herriot's All Things Bright and Beautiful. This is the second book in his series, and the first book was All Creatures Great and Small, which I read I think in December or January, and it was the most amazing cozy book. So funny, so sweet, it's fantastic. This is nonfiction and it follows James Herriot. He is a vet, and in this book he is, I think, in his third year outside of vet school. So he's already been a vet for about 3 years in the Yorkshire Dales. The landscape is idyllic and beautiful, and rolling landscapes, farms, and this book is hilarious. So I started this last month and I didn't get to finish it. So I got, maybe about, I think about 30 pages into it when I put it down, because I had so many other books going on at the same time. And so I picked this back up yesterday, and I don't know why I ever put it down. I have been laughing and laughing, and his writing is so fantastic, and it's so funny, it's so sweet. The landscapes, just everything about this book. I don't want to put it down now. I don't want to put it down. I love it so much. So I'm so enjoying this. I am now about 75 pages into it. So this is one of the first books I am reading during the month of April. Then we have, look at this gorgeous guy. Can we take a moment to appreciate how beautiful this book is? Oh my God. Okay, let's look at the inside. Beautiful. This is Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. And this book, I have a little bit of a history with this. I started reading this some time ago, a couple years ago, I think it was. And I was not in the best mental headspace to read this book. I was just dealing with life, a lot of difficult things, stress factors and things like that. And so I got 128 pages into this book and I just couldn't do it anymore, and I put it down. But here we are again. Thank you, Throne of Pages, for reminding me about Crime and Punishment. This is on my list of 100 greatest books ever written. And so Throne of Pages, recently read this and was just obsessed and in love with it. And so I was like, okay, that kind of encouraged me to give it another try. I am in a way better headspace. I mean, life is good. The weather is beautiful. The sun is shining. The tank is clean. So boom, I am taking another stab at this, and I'm very confident that I will like it. And I've already noticed a difference. I picked this up a couple days ago, I think on April 1st, and I am enjoying it and seeing it through another set of eyes, because because when I first started reading it, because I was just under so much stress and going through a lot of different things, and then to read this book that is just so dark and depressing and mental, and this guy's nuts, and it just makes you feel gross and slimy, and the characters, you're just so grossed out. You're just I just didn't want to feel like that. So That's it. Crime and Punishment. I already see a difference because I started it over again because I do want to appreciate this masterpiece. So I'm 56 pages into it, and yeah, I am annotating and I am highlighting and I am like completely seeing this. I mean, so like I am just like all over the place with this now. So yeah, I am very glad that I picked this back up. So there's that. Then we have Fangs. This is a graphic novel by Sarah Anderson, and this is the story of a vampire who falls in love with a werewolf. And this is a cloth bound, very nice. Look at how the pages are black. That's just beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. On the back it says, I want your, and it has love, and then it's crossed off and it says blood. I don't know if you can see that there, especially with that glare. There we go. And so this is just absolutely adorable. I picked this up at Barnes and Noble, and like I just, looked at maybe 2 pages and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. It's funny and really sweet. And so it's my April TBR. Then I have Homebody by Rupi Kaur, Kaur. And this is a collection of poems. And at the back it says, after feeling disconnected for so long, my mind and body are finally coming back together. So this is a collection of poems, and they are separated into different sections. There's mind, heart, rest, and awake. And this is going to be a reread. I read this once before, I think about a year ago, and I really liked it. I wanted to read it again and annotate it. I really enjoyed it. A couple of warnings on here, trigger warnings. There's, abuse, like sexual abuse. I think even like a survival of a survivor of molestation, maybe. There's depression, anxiety, a lot of different topics that are written in here in these poems. So that's a bit of a trigger warning. This is not all, love and butterflies and lovely poems. Some of them are very deep and intense. But there are some that are not, like so depressing or difficult. Yeah, so that's that. That's Homebody by Rupi Kaur. I am reading this for April. Oh, then we have Bride of the Sea by Emma Hamm. This is the 3rd book in her, Otherworld, in her Otherworld series, which I have been absolutely loving so much. And look at this cover. This is such a pretty book, and it's so soft. So I read the first 2 books. One was The Heart of the Fae, and the other one was Veins of Magic. So that was kind of, those 2 books went together. It was like a duology there. And then there's Bride of the Sea, which I think is a standalone. It's part of this world. And this one obviously is about mermaids or marrows. These are based on Irish fae and Irish folklore and things like that. So I am so excited to read this. I had this on my March TBR, but I did not get it. I didn't even get to start it, so moved it to April. That's okay. That is totally okay. And same thing with this next book. Was on my March TBR. I did not get to start it, and that is The Queen of the Damned by Anne Rice. This is her 3rd book in her series. What does she call her? Vampire Chronicles, I think. So this is the 3rd book, and I think there's like 13 books in this series. I read, I started with The Interview with the Vampire and then The Vampire Lestat. Then there is this one. The first two were fantastic. I heard Queen of the Damned is just as great. So I look forward to reading this one. And I know I'm gonna read it in April. I was just like, I was thinking about this last month and I was like, oh my gosh, because kind of the Vampire Lestat, the way it ended, kind of introduced you into like, this lady's, you need to know about this lady to know what's gonna happen next. So it was almost a little bit of a cliffhanger, so can't wait. And then we are getting into Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter. So I have volumes here, 6 and 7. Did I already read 5? If I didn't already read 5, then I'm gonna read 5, 6, and 7. I don't know. Either way, Hunter x Hunter is happening this month. And this is by Yoshihiro Togashi. And last but not least, we have The Way of the Househusband. You know, I'm in love with Tatsu. So I feel like I've introduced him like a million times. That's my baby right here. He's so funny. It's this guy, Tatsu, who left, he was part of the Yakuza in Japan and left the gang, being one of the most brutal members of the gang, left that life and became a house husband. And this manga is absolutely hilarious. It's so funny and it's so precious to me. I love it so much. And I'm trying to make it last. I know there's not a lot of volumes in this manga, and so I think I'm only gonna read one this month. But we talked about how little self-control I have, so I might buy more. We'll see. I'm gonna try to just have one. Read this one during the month of April and then go from there, okay? So that's where I'm at right now. Right now, I am currently reading James Herriot's All Things Bright and Beautiful and Crime and Punishment. And those books are really balancing each other out, because as Crime and Punishment is so hard and creepy and weird and gross and you know, then I put that down and I'm reading James Herriot and I'm just transported to these beautiful lands and this hilarious vet who just meets the weirdest characters. And so that's how you do things sometimes. Okay, well, that's it for me. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope some of these gave you some ideas for what you might want to read during the month of December. Bye.